So, last time we had a very emotional session. Prava got some emotional baggage, which is always nice, but good things, his friends are alive, hooray!
I mean,
And now we are currently residing within zero risk security.
to be fair, he met an old friend, he killed some fucks, and got a dagger out of it. I'd say that's a win-win.
Very true.
Yeah.
And of course, all of you, as I mentioned before, have gotten a reward from Joe.
Yep, 200 credits each. And not Joe,
Yep.
Mo. Joe
Mo,
is somebody else. Somebody that doesn't
Yes,
exist
yeah.
in this universe.
Yes, Joe is one of the elder gods.
Mm-hmm. Elder god of waffles.
Exactly. But essentially, yes, he's given you 200 credits each and also a pack of cigarettes each.
Yes, fueling my smoking addiction. Perfect.
Prava gives his to Aiden.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you better not smoke. This stuff will kill you as you start smoking.
How long has it been since we left the scene of disaster?
I would say it's up to the group how long it's been.
We probably
but
had a good night's rest.
About a day.
Yeah, if Prava slept, then he's fine, basically.
Yeah, to account for downtime and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you probably you've had a sleep, you went out and did some bargain hunting to calm yourself,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sort of thing.
Exactly. Went out, did some business, centered himself.
Kuzon spent the day just kind of like, because he was kind of he found that to be kind of a stressful situation, and he found just like crafting a thick bundle of ion tape, just kind of like working with the skills that he knows and everything like that. He kind of felt particularly inspired, and it kind of like reversed his foul mood, just what he was able to throw together.
Thiveron is just going to go to the ship to inspect. What did we get? A new drift engine, right?
Yep.
Or were we getting the?
It's actually was currently being installed. That's what. Yes, I assume that
Yeah.
you guys wanted it installed, so it is being installed.
Yes. Ship's in a shipyard right now. It's the only reason we're not off planet.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down.
And do you want to go and check on it? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're going up there, you do see a bunch of workers all around the ship getting all bits and pieces ready. They have this really weird list on like one of their boards that seems like it was drawn by hastily scribbled hands, and it has Kuzon's signature at the bottom. It seems like a list of instructions of what not to touch.
There's just a sticky note everywhere.
Yeah, and if you were spending time in the ship, like Kuzon would be like holed away in his like workshop working and doing whatever. And then every now and again he'd pop up and it'd just be like, "I hope you're not touching my stuff." And then there'd just be like, he'd just be getting in the face of the warden every now and again, and it's like, "How's my stuff?"
Thiveron confused because he's just kind of in his own quarters praying to Talabot. It's like, I don't think any of your
You
stuff
using
is in
some
my
magic
room.
voodoo to
unless you
touch
do
my
it.
stuff?
I'm not harassing you. You'd hear Kuzon like in the hall, the people installing the drift engine. He'd be getting in their face every now and again, just making sure they're not messing with his things.
I can just imagine, we don't need the alarm spells. When everybody's sleeping, all of a sudden when somebody touches the ship, Kuzon wakes up, somebody just touched my baby. No!
Yeah, I'm like a dad, and the ship is my thermostat.
Yep.
Oh, Ataika is very, very similar in that anybody going near where all the guns are stored or the turret bays, if like basically on Kuzon's note at the bottom in much less dexterous writing is, "Don't go near the guns." Not don't touch this room, don't enter this room, don't go near the guns.
Apart from that, and you said you were playing currently?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything you were trying to talk to your god about, or?
I am telling Tele about the weird conglomeration of Solarian magic that has resulted in a lich-like creature. It's something that I never expected to see. I didn't know that magic could be used that way. and like the tragedy of it being one of Prava's best friends.
Are you
And
looking for
it may
guidance? Or are you?
potentially be, I'm not looking for guidance.
Ah,
I'm
you're
just
sharing the
telling her
story.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So essentially, you're telling the story of this weird, strange graviton lich, and how it's strange. Okay, hang on, I got to mark things down. I am marking down what stories you're sharing with her.
Yeah.
Apparently, she was
And,
so angry she threw something.
Man, I know the gods were
It's like,
vengeful
I hate that
creatures.
story.
Fucking lich! This development, it's awesome.
I hate lich stories, Thiveron. Stop it.
She throws her popcorn down in anger.
Okay, so yeah, you tell. Is there anything else you tell her?
I put a lot of emphasis on like just really empathetic Thiveron is toward Prava for potentially losing their best friend, just because he's gone through something very similar with the loss of his own best friend.
Is he going to communicate those emotions to Prava, or
Not right now, maybe later, but right now he's just telling the story.
Probably in space. It's like, oh, he needs some space right now. I'll do it when we're taking off
Yeah.
in his ship. I feel like right after the situation may not be the best.
Hey, he's not even be like, so you do realize your best friend is now an undead abomination bent
That's
on
pretty
destroying
messed up.
lives.
I hope it's pretty messed up, dude.
And just then, as you're finishing up your story, you would hear a big metallic knock on the door.
I'll just say, you can enter, and the door will just open.
Yeah, and you find that you were not entirely. It was not entirely accurate that he could enter. It's kind of difficult. he shoulders his way in. And he's like, I don't know if I can. He gets in, and they're he explains to you, they've taken both of my prayer spaces.
They've taken both of your prayer spaces.
Correct.
Well, there's always a seat at Talbot's hearth for storytelling.
His head cocks to the side. Stories.
Yes, Talbot. She projects the traditions of the ancient races, and she tells stories. Ones that many lessons can be learned.
Ah. It's quaint, but I understand. And he goes to sit down. There's no hint of he's trying to be a dick. He's just like, he's a fucking robot. He's an idiot. So he sits down. He doesn't understand the concept of trying to put together a story. And he turns to you and says, how would you usually do it?
Thiveron just looks back toward his altar and puts his hands on the altar and just continues his story about what they had just been. And after that, like, contemplative 5 minutes, Thiveron will speak up and he'll say, Ataika, now that might not have been a normal lich, but it was definitely obsessed with the idea of keeping Prava around, but the undead are not normally amenable beings. I believe that his intentions may not be entirely good. We may have to watch over Prava.
I agree with the final point. But the undead are never something with an internal logic. This was something completely different. Something heretical. And he stands, says, "Thank you for the prayer space."
I If you wish to return, I will have the door enlarged.
I shouldn't need it when the gun bay is empty. And then he just
Thiveron,
leaves.
well, as you say, like Thiveron has caught on that you're just very, very literal, and he just nods as you say that.
I'm going to, yeah, because it reminds me at the end of our, I guess, like day off before the repairs and everything are finished, like when it's getting later, Prava's gonna like hear like a tappy tap tap on his door.
The door cracks open slightly, but he leaves for Kuzon to open the rest of the way.
I won't necessarily like. Are you at the door, or do you just crack it open slightly? Like, are you looking through the door?
Yeah, he's just kind of like peeking around. He's like, yes.
Well, in intense day yesterday.
He opens the door all the way. He's like, yeah, it was really something.
Oh, you speak.
No, after you.
Cute.
Awesome. Simulating our character's actual awkwardness.
People hardly just awkward as shit.
Kuzon's gonna like reach into his back pocket and he's gonna pull out your communicator, and he's like with his like he's holding the communicator with his robotic hand, and then with his like other hand he's kind of like scratching the back of his head awkwardly or like looking away. It's like, so I upgraded your communication device.
Oh, just upgraded how?
I added a firewall to it to make it more secure, and I also did something else.
Did you upgrade the camera?
No, I'm going to, like, using my free hand, I'm going to swipe it, and I'm going to hit, like, an app that just has, like, Kuzon's, like, little signature on it. And when I hit that button, it's going to, it's up to DM whether this actually works or not, but this is my idea. When he hits the button, it kind of, like, tunes the communicator device into a feed of the camera outside of his friend's, like, noodle shop.
I would allow that.
Because I was thinking, because I've already like hacked it, yeah. And it's like, I know you're concerned about your friends and stuff, and it like I know you probably want to keep an eye on people, so I thought that I'd set this up so you could.
Prava cuts Kuzon off with a hug, and it's just like, thank you. That means so much, just that I can look at any time and see that she's. Thank you, Kuzon.
Kuzon just kind of like freezes when you do that. Like, it's like, and it's not even like that. He's kind of just like stuck. Like, he doesn't know. He's like stammering. That he doesn't know how to react.
And his tail falls off.
Well, Prava steps back. Is like, sorry, overwhelmed.
No, you're good. Anyway, yeah. Just be mindful with the stuff you download on it.
Gotcha. I'll be very careful about what I download.
Yeah. And he shoots like an awkward thumb up as he just like starts backing up.
Prava looks happily at his communication device, knowing that he has a feed and the ability to upload.
Yes, my social media is back.
Now I can start loading again. Oh god. So, anybody else wish to do anything? Aiden, you said before you wanted to do something?
Oh yeah, After we came back, Aiden's just gonna spend some time playing with the kids and whatnot, and after that he's gonna try and get everybody together, whether at HQ or on the ship, wherever everybody is, so we can have a quick talk about what happens next.
Right, so after everyone's gone shopping, you all called by Aiden into what I assume is the living room of their HQ.
Yep. Hey, how's everybody doing? Need a drink? Get a good night's rest?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was Kuzon. Kuzon like is he actually looks pretty good. He's like responds like I'm all right. I'll skip out on the drinks. Thanks.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, considering where we're going later.
Where we're going later?
Yeah. Anyway, take a seat. Once everybody's at the table, Aiden's gonna speak up. First of all, thanks a lot for helping me with that investigation last time. That means a lot. I trust that Mo has provided you with the proper compensation.
Thiveron nods.
Good. Well, figured you guys did me a solid, and we've been, for a while. We went through a few scuffles, so I thought I'd level with you guys. I've had some of my boys do a little bit of digging. Mostly about you guys and our employer. No offense, but I like to know what kind of people I'm working with. Not gonna go into any details, but I just wanted you guys to know, so there's no surprises or anything, that I did kind of look into your backgrounds a little bit. What you would be more interested to find out, however, is although it wasn't easy, we did manage to uncover some information about the Benefactor and his personal assistant that you might be interested about. It seems that what the Benefactor is looking for is something called the Sling. Whatever the hell that means. Not a lot of information about it. But hey, at least we know what it's called. As for his assistant, that's where things get a little bit screwy, see. There's nothing. Like, I don't mean somebody's trying to prevent us from getting information, I don't mean it's hidden. There's literally no information on that elf Elebora that's with him all the time. Nothing. Zilch. Like, even the Benefactor, who's been pretty secretive and trying to keep information away from him, has something. She has absolutely nothing. Apart from her artifact, however. I don't know what's up with that mumbo-jumbo stuff, but apparently it seems to have some kind of power. Some of the crews that work for the Benefactor have been turned down simply because the artifact didn't like them? Anyway, some weird juju going on with that artifact thing and his personal assistant. If anything, considering she's gonna be our handler, I'd say keep an eye out. She's weird, even by flying elf standards.
She seems like a very nice lady. I've had nothing but good interactions with Elebora.
Yeah, well...
That artifact is of a magical nature. Although I was not able to identify exactly what type of magic.
Honestly, at this point, I'm more worried about her than the Benefactor. Anybody I can't get information on is probably something I should be wary of. But hey, that's just me. At any rate...
That is what I'm saying. I agree. I've come across that symbol in my studies of religion before, but I could not identify exactly what faith it belonged to.
Aiden scratches his beard. Well, if you do have some information about artifacts and those symbols, maybe one of my boys could use your help and see if we can't track that artifact. Well, it was in underground auction, so chances are it's gonna be pretty difficult to track where even that thing came from.
If I get the opportunity, I will help.
At any rate, I just thought you guys should know that, I know it's not much information, but trust me, if we can't find it, that information's hard to come by. I would advise you though that you would refrain from telling the Benefactor or his assistant anything that we've learned about them, because, it's good to sit on information until you can make the most of it. Right now, it doesn't really benefit us to let them know that we know this stuff.
I think I'd agree. Probably wouldn't. Probably they wouldn't appreciate to hear the news we've been snooping anyway. Better to stay under the radar.
Well, now that that's out of the way, Aiden claps his hand together to switch the mood. It's time for us to head out.
And where are we going?
Well, I figured right now we don't really have any pressing jobs. The Benefactor hasn't contacted us. So I figured we should earn some cash on our own. And I know a few mercenary places that have a variety of jobs that I'm sure we can find that suit our tastes. Whether it's being as guards, whether it's lugging cargo around or doing some small skirmishes. I'm sure we'll find something that fits our needs as long as the pay is good. So I was thinking we can visit one of the joints.
Do we still have that information? I remember it was a session that Prava was here. I got a tip on like some space pirating salvage and stuff like that.
Yes, you did have that tip. More information, as mentioned before, could have. Well, I mentioned it back in the session. You could go to probably one of the places Aiden mentioned, or the more official like station security, in order to find out more on the pirates.
Yeah, Kuzon just kind of mentions it's like usually where you find pirates, you find some salvage. So, it's like that's something that interests me, is to find some new gear out there. You never know what a ship drops when they get shot out of space.
It sounds like good, honest work for us.
Yep. Also, don't worry. The kind of places that I go to, they're not really big on, well, rules. So you can find more morally gray jobs there that pay well. You don't have to worry so much about regulations. If you want to pop some pirates and deal with that, I'm sure we can find some good contracts in the merc joints I visit.
Kuzon's gonna get like a big grin on his face, and he's gonna reach into his bag, and he's gonna throw something at Aiden while just yelling like "catch!" and like a string of like ribbons flies from Kuzon in Aiden's direction.
Aiden reaches out to grab it. What is this?
It's something I've been working on. And Kuzon just gonna like walk up and just like gently wrap it around his hand.
So Aiden's just standing there.
Aiden's just standing there confused and pipes up. If this is like some kind of friendship Kuzon, friendship band, you really didn't need to go that far, Kuzon. We are not exactly, some kind of secret best friendsy society here yet.
I'm gonna activate the zip stick.
So, Aiden, as he activates the zip stick, you see the band that's around both your hands suddenly contract and turn solid as it locks your wrists together.
Oh! Aiden immediately gear starts spinning inside his head. Kuzon, nice going.
I'm just kind of holding it. It's like, yeah, it's something I developed. It's a formula I found from somebody else, but I've made a few improvements that should increase it. Basically, when you expose to an electric charge, the density of the substance, the tensile strength increases by a factor of 600%. And that's what you get out of it. I'm gonna activate the zip stick, and it turns back into like a very flimsy feeling like ribbon. Like when it turns back into its loose state, it feels less durable than rope. But like when he activates it, it's like hard. And another thing I figured out is that there's like a mild adhesive to it. So you were mentioning like if you could block up a door, and I basically it's like sticky. So you could line it up against the wall, put it in between 2 points, and then activate it to like bar a door, I think. Because it's like, as long as you have an object to wedge it in between.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if you put it from one wall to the other and then activate it. And sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there.
No, I'm just
Nice.
agreeing. Like, yep, that's how it works.
Nice
That's what I
going,
said.
Kuzon. I can see this being pretty useful. You mind if I keep a few of these things with me?
I'm going to. So I have 50. I have 50 feet of it here. I'll just like. I'll pass the spool of it and the zip stick to Aiden and just be like, I think you are a little bit. You'd be a little bit more proficient at using this than I am.
Well, since we're feeling generous and in the mood for giving presents, I actually have something to give as well. And Aiden takes out a smoke grenade and rolls it towards Thiveron. I noticed that you feel pretty at home when you're obscured. Here. Hopefully this will help you get an edge in case you get jumped out there and we're not around to watch your back. Make sure to keep one of these always on you. They're pretty useful.
Oh, is this one of those smoke grenades that you used?
Yep.
Quite like these.
After you pull the pin, you've got about 5 or 6 seconds, and this baby is gonna fill out an entire room or quite a large area outside. You should be good for about a minute.
It is very difficult for Thiveron to hide his wolf-like smirk.
I'm gonna lean over and see if his tail is wagging.
It is.
Perfect. Wag, 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 wag. Mhm.
Are you okay with giving me the
Useful.
zipline, though? Don't we just have one?
I'll buy a zip stick and include it with what I give you. I'll cut it in half. I'll take 25 feet and I'll give you a zip stick and give you 25
I was going to
feet.
say, Tyron's spell charge transfer gem could also work. Anything that's able to conduct electricity would be able to solidify the weapon.
You don't have to give me 25 feet, dude. I'll be happy with just 10. 10 sounds like a pretty good amount. That's probably gonna fill my needs for a while. Okay, I have it down in my notes. Perfect. This is gonna be useful for tying up fools. And honestly, I was thinking maybe I can put it around somebody's neck and harden it and see if I can fucking choke him on that stuff.
10 minutes finding a way to turn a utility item in the system to a...
We're not murder hobos, we swear. We don't murder hobo people.
You guys were such good boys until I gave you a utility item when suddenly you decided to...
How can I use this fucking pencil to murder 3 people in a bar?
What are you guys going to do? Are you going to start to leave the HQ?
Yeah, after we're done with the
intervene?
conversation and exchanging presents, Aiden's gonna basically, unless somebody has other plans, Aiden's gonna lead the party to one of the mercenary hangout joints so they can grab a job and unwind for a little bit.
I do apologize if I forget the name of the NPC. Aiden's like girlfriend.
Oh, you mean Morana?
Yeah, I'm gonna before we leave, Kuzon's gonna approach Morana, and I'll just give her a nod and just be like, "You have adjusted to the responsibilities of raising these brood suitably. Good day."
Thank you. She watches as Kuzon goes away in utter confusion. It's like, okay.
And
So
as
take it as a compliment.
As Aiden passes by, he just gives her a less shrug and moves on.
But before you leave, Aiden, she does go, make sure to pick up your stuff before you leave. It's cluttering the hallway.
I know, I'll pick it up. Don't worry.
Thiveron, after Kuzon says that, she looks super confused and says she'll take that as a compliment. Thiveron walks up and he says, thank you for your hospitality. You have a wonderful home here. I think what Kuzon was trying to say is that you make a good alpha pack female.
One was accepting the compliment and then looks again, utter confusion. It's like walks away. It's like, hmm? She looks towards Prava next as if she's expecting him to do something akin to what they just did.
I never really got a chance to talk to you, but you fit the picture of a perfect host.
Thank you. No more compliment.
I wouldn't mind laying my eggs inside you.
Oh god.
What she doesn't realize is the cultural step of a host being the third gender that carries the young.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, okay, at least that's a normal compliment. Meanwhile, totally not a normal compliment.
Well, he is the charismatic one.
He's
It's like,
accidentally charming
well-
to the end.
I hope to see you again once you're back on the station, and I'm always here anyway. And make sure you keep your guns clean. She pats the giant robot as she noticed he likes his guns.
Did you pat anywhere near a gun?
No, pats his shoulder.
Okay, if she did, then he'd be like, immediately like, what the fuck are you doing?
I can imagine the only thing Ataika would say is like, "You did a good job killing that guy."
No, Ataika, he has a little bit more tact than that. You are a skilled combatant, but less skilled in the kitchen. And then he walks away.
But your dishes work needs a bit improvement.
It's like, I compliment your combat ability, but you're shit in the kitchen. You don't clean up after yourself. Those dishes were horrible.
Well, hey man, Ataika occasionally had to make meals in his chapter, and when he did, all the dishes were being washed while he was as soon as they were finished being used. So like looking at a pile of dishes is just like he's like rubbing his non-existent temples. You're just like, oh god. No.
Right. Sorry.
And then he pats her on the shoulder, but he doesn't understand how hard to do it, so he may have gone too hard. I don't know.
She's just looking towards Aiden like, the fuck? Like, what?
Aiden just shrugs. I told you they're a little bit unique. Anyway, you read through their bios, didn't you? You know what to expect. I'll be off now. See ya.
Before Ataika leaves, though, she does pick up a child that's hanging off his back and puts him on the ground as you try to leave with him.
Ah, you sneaky bugger. You almost got me. That's why I'm telling you, you have to be quicker if you're going for the weak spot. Practice on Murana.
She just, hurry up and leave before I stab you.
Ah, yes. The love taps. Always famous, never sticking around for them, too busy. Bye. Phew, and I'm out.
Actually, I gotta actually check something. Indeed.
As Ataika is leaving,
Right.
He says to Aiden regarding the child hanging on him, he just says, I knew he was there. I'm just not allowed to hit him.
Just not allowed to deal with him. Kuzon, as you're leaving, and as you're just stepping into the hallway to leave, you do see somebody. And as you're coming up and down, and gestures towards your feet. This is who's in the hallway.
Wait a minute. Actually, I don't know if I ever saw her. Did I see her? I guess I did.
You saw her.
Yeah,
She
I
was the
recognized
person on Agitan.
I'll look down at my feet and just like I'm just gonna look at her with like not even being like, oh, nice to see you or anything like that. Just gonna be like, what?
You can see her like gesturing frantically towards your feet, where you're still wearing those orange slippers. I suspect everyone else is coming around the corner by this point, including you, Aiden. And you just
by
see
the
her
way,
gesturing frantically.
instead of saying anything, you see Aiden just making hand sign language stuff. What do you call it in English? Fuck.
Sign language.
Wait, is that the language you call it? Okay.
That is literally
he
it.
basically uses his hands for sign language to tell her something.
I'll kick off the slippers and put my boots back on.
She nods approvingly.
I'm going to tell in sign language. Hi, Grabby, nice to see you. You should have seen how fervent he was about wearing those slippers. He even nibbled on them and slept with them. He might have peed on them too.
Kuzon is just like looking back and forth and it just looks at her and is like, I bet he's saying I'm cool, isn't he? I am pretty cool.
And Ataika's just like, yeah.
I've updated her profile, so now you actually have a name to go along with her.
Because I don't think you considered it its own language, right? Like, is that a language that he has that I don't have?
Yeah, essentially it is, but-
languages you have to take as a separate language. Like if you want a semantic version
Okay.
of Common, you have to take that as a separate language.
I
But
have it.
thankfully for you, she actually like taps on her wrist a moment, and a small hologram appears, saying, like, when she's gesturing towards you, saying, "Did you nibble on my slippers?"
No.
As soon as he
Never do
starts
that.
answering, Aiden interrupts him. You were pretty drunk, remember? Like, Aiden is just bluffing, but he's just assuming, what if he doesn't remember and he thinks, oh no, I actually did it. You came back pretty drunk, remember, Kuzon?
Well, I did think my mouth tasted like dirt when I got out. Anyway.
She's disapprovingly, she's like looking disapprovingly towards you before typing again, and says, and basically her name appears, Gabriel Jiren Yegoin. There you go, Yegoin.
Or you can just type
German
it out.
pronunciation. I did. It's in a profile now.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
It still shows
Check.
shows up as ...
You may have to reload it.
Yeah, I see Gabriel.
The pop-up he just did will still have period.
Ah, yeah, there we go. Now
back
it's
to the
fine.
journal she's in.
Mm-hmm.
I like her. Is that like an ammo clip in her like arm?
Yeah, it's you can actually see. It seems like she has a gun on her wrist. She is
That's
almost
cool.
your size, Kuzon. She is like almost 12, but anyone with
Actually-
actual perception can see along the clip. It says rubber, so essentially it's rubber bullets.
Wait, so is her arms like, so from this distance, because I remember I tried to look at it before, her arms aren't like, those are mechanical, right?
They are basically like armor. She does have clear cybernetic enhancements on her, but
Yeah, but the
They,
arms
like-
themselves aren't robotic, like they're not.
yeah, the arms and legs are simply armor.
Okay.
You guys have all continued walking, but I don't know if you even realized it, but Ataika is behind her, like, not aggressively, but swiping at her tail.
Like a cat.
How did you build this?
She looks back and then towards the like tail attachment on her clothing, and then types it up. Essentially, what she types up, to shorten it a bit, is that she used one of the grapple mods that you can get, where it helps you like climb and grapple things, and essentially attach it to armor, and that's what it looks like right now. Like she designed it to look that way.
Hey, Gravi, where's Lilith? Still haven't seen her since last mission.
Types out and basically gestures like waving like dismissively. She's like, I don't know.
Anyway, when you see her, tell her that was a pretty good shot she took. I'm proud of her. And I'm gonna ruffle up Gravi's head and wave at her. I'm off now. Stay out of trouble.
She does not look like she listened to you. She does pat Kuzon though before she passes.
Ataika is still like moderately rudely like he like grabs her arm and he's like moving it around, examining the armor and the clip embedded in it. And he's like,
You realize how tall you are compared to. Are you physically lifting up off the ground? Because you probably
Yes.
couldn't be. She weighs
Yes.
like nothing.
yes, he is.
You can see her flailing about a bit, but it's like she's just hanging there, giving up by this point, and just giving a blank look. Like,
I'm going to use my engineering to try to research and understand the clip in the arm deal, because Ataika really likes that.
the gun arm. Right, as you can probably tell, it is a hidden compartment gun. It is one of the cybernetic enhancements that you can get in Pathfinder. It's just, the thing is, on a picture, it's shown, and she did show it as soon as she came, like, it was showing as soon as she came in.
Yeah.
It's normally for small
Basically-
arms.
What he's trying to what he's trying to research is how he could implement it without the gun function, just the clip. And his thought process behind it is, if there was a way to store clips in hidden segments in his arm, that could expedite the process of reloading.
Like an automatic reloader.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
By the way,
That's what you're reloading.
Yeah, by the way, Ash, as Ataika is keeping Grabby up in the air and distracted, I want a sleight of hand her pockets.
You realize you can't be that stealthy, right? She's physically looking like down. If
Let's see.
you want to try, if you think
try.
you're gonna get that high,
Yeah, I wanna try.
she is signing like generally, and you can tell she's kind of like swearing, muttering in sign language.
Also, he would be combating against me, because as soon as Ataika noticed it, he'd kind of do like a SWAT.
Oh no, I'm not.
Stop!
I'm going
I'm
for
examining
her.
her.
Is that good enough
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
inside her pockets?
As you're reaching, sadly, given the circumstance bonus of both of them and how it is, you can't physically get your hands. You get swatted back by both her and Ataika. Like, and as you do, she signs towards you. Basically, since you got one hand, it's only one half of the conversation, but you can basically get the indication that she's saying, just because you're poor doesn't mean you can steal from me.
I use sign language to tell her, I'm just showing you how it's done.
By failing.
Hey, I did way better than her. The only reason I failed is because you got in my way.
True. I actively swatted your hand away like an asshole. But yeah, so then as if the others start to walk away and we start to leave, then I slowly, gently lower Grabby back to the ground and set her down. Pat her on the head, because I saw her do that to Kuzon. I thought, well, she's smaller than me, so I think it works that way. And so he's attempted to be as gentle as possible because he knows this is a breakable child. And
You are a fragile child.
and he pats her on the head and he kneels down and gestures for her to like lean close, and then puts up the hand beside his mouth like he's gonna whisper something.
She does lean closer.
And he just says, "Watch over the noodle hut. I quite enjoyed their smell."
She looks somewhat confused, but does nod.
And,
Nod.
he salutes her. His chapter salute and walks away.
She, when you salute her, she does look very happy with that. Like, yes, respect, of course. As I deserve.
And he walks away, covered in guns, slips into the night and goes to the ship.
Actually, we're headed towards one of the workplaces so we can grab a job.
Shit!
I think Kuzon would catch you before you start walking away.
Yeah, he's walking the other way, and then he gets and like Gravy's just watching the whole thing. He gets pulled the other direction.
Yeah, it's just like
I imagine Kuzon and Ataika just have this practice routine of like, when you're going the wrong way, I just take my metal fist and go clank clank on like whatever part of you is available, and I point, and then you just turn and go going that way.
At this point, Ataika doesn't even pay attention to the point. He just goes in the direction the clank came from.
He's basically Zoro from One Piece. He needs Kuzon constantly to direct him, otherwise he's gone.
Of course, as for the others as well, for Prava, she waves goodbye to the brother, probably sad-looking bug man, and also to Thiveron as well. She resists petting him.
He tries to give the Sheeran version of a smile and wave back, but it's hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Thiveron can't tell that she's waving.
Oh yeah, can't see.
No, that's hilarious. She can't speak and she can only
By the way,
sign. They can't
I
communicate
nudge Thiveron to the side and whisper in his ear, she's waving to you.
And then Thiveron will oh, and then he'll wave, but in the wrong direction.
And as he does, I'm gonna put one hand on his shoulder, another on his wrist, and then I'm gonna basically turn him towards her and be like, there we go.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate this.
She does look a little confused, and she still doesn't know that he's slightly impaired, and she
Aiden?
just happily waves still.
I will send telepathically. Sorry, it was nice to meet you.
She looks happy with that.
She is allowed to reply as well.
Instead of using sign language, Aiden just points to the ears, the universal language of Doggo can't see, yo.
But when you do send that, you do get a feeling of happy. For some reason, she doesn't speak back in the
Okay.
mind.
Man, what a team we make. A girl that can't speak and a dog that can't see. Perfect.
Perfect.
But together, we make one whole sensing being.
Captain Disability.
And Thiveron laughs at that like he thinks he's the funniest guy in the world.
Oh. But yeah, Ash, I'm gonna lead the others to one of the Merc hangouts.
Okay, so you're heading up to a slightly more upscaled part of the station as you go towards the Merc hangouts, which is where they're located apart from the Spike. Strangely enough. Gotta be professional now.
Prava's never really been up in like the nice part of the station for very long at a time. Like he's popped up for a little bit of business here and there, but like it's always a treat for him, so he's looking around excitedly.
Sorry, don't mean to. What?
I think Ash is adjusting the picture or something.
Yeah, sorry, I was. But essentially, as you're heading up, for those who haven't seen such a place, it's just a cascade, a choreography of lights, noise, and the smells of actually decent cooked street food as you walk through the streets. The cars and the other strange alien vehicles are driving along the road as everybody's going along the large paths next to the shops. And one moment, I gotta bring up my notes, getting ready for as you enter. So, as you enter into one of the side alleyways, however, the noise and light fade a little bit as you enter side door.
Ash, allow me for just a second. Basically what happens is we're on the main street, there's all these cool places, they're all chic and cool, like you're wondering, oh, which one of these places are we gonna enter, they all look amazing, Karen says, that's the way, and we enter one of the side alleys that's all dirty and filthy. Go on, Ash.
Yeah, so essentially you enter one of the less clean looking alleys and you see a rather large Vask standing by the doors. That's one of the large, almost lizard-like creatures standing by the door as he looks towards you guys and just stares towards you as you're lining up at the door.
Hey Marv, how's business tonight?
It's doing alright. Did you bring the 2 credits?
Yep. And I'm gonna slip him some creds and give him a firm handshake. How's the wife doing?
Yeah, she's doing alright. Still brooding as ever.
Ah, dames, man. Can't live with them, can't live without them, huh?
Have we encountered Vask before in like our...
If you, since Vesk are not exactly super rare, but they are uncommon, I would think that you at least seen some from a distance before.
Kuzon kind of like, this is as we like round the alley and he sees him, you notice for a moment that like Kuzon just like freezes in place, and like it takes him a moment. He's like stuck in place for a moment, and then he just kind of like shakes his head and keeps going. Like he has like a momentary like hesitation.
Like a gecko seeing a bigger lizard.
Well, more than you know.
Anyway, Marv, I'll see you around. Don't be a stranger, all right?
He gives like a small nod before opening the door to his side. You can, as soon as he opens the door, you can hear the noise within, the chatting, the general bar-like feel. So yes, as you enter the bar, you can see the different sort of people, all armed to the teeth compared to the civilians outside. Every one of them has their weapons ready and drawn. I think you probably feel at home here, since you can finally get rid of the cloak and show all your weapons off as you desire.
If anything, there's probably a few gun nuts around that are gonna be curious about them.
You do see like people comparing weapons on a very large table in the middle. Like, I got this from one of the vast systems. And as you walk in, the barman's going side to side of four-armed robots serving drinks left and right. And of course, the mainstay of a bar, a rather large board, bring up small holographic bounties and jobs and the like.
Alright then, let's have a look, shall we?
Prava's just gonna like look around and kind of like try to get the general feel for the place. So like, what kind of people seem to be like the most respected here? Who's getting like the nice looks? Prava's trying to like assess the social situation.
The social situation overall, hang on a minute, is roll me, I believe it's sense motive for this system, isn't it?
That makes sense.
Or is it perception?
Sense motive, probably. Maybe.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to like assess like what kind of in this kind of environment, what kind of people have sway, like what kind of people do people like look at with respect, what kind of people.
Or are you gathering information?
Ye-
Like, are you actually going to talk to people, or are you just trying to read the room?
I'm just trying to read the room.
I mean, me personally, I would give him either perception or sense motive.
I'd probably
Well,
say, I'm going to say it will give you different results. Sense motive is a general feel of room. Perception is who is like physically, like you can see looking up to.
No, it's not smart of it.
Oof.
No. Okay.
Well, from the way everybody's like looking, clearly Aiden is like the big boss of this room as he walks in. Like they all look towards him for a moment and look back. Clearly they know who he is.
Prava starts to mimic the way Aiden walks into this room.
I like how Prava rolled on that one, but it feels like I did it.
He puffs himself up, walks all cocky into the room.
I'm hanging out. Like Kuzon's kind of nervous. I'm just like hanging out between Ataika's feet, like and keeping an eye out. Keeps.
It's kind of covered by the shawl, but Ataika's arms are crossed, and on one side he's holding the butt of his azimuth laser rifle, and then on the other hand his like fingers are just touching his sword. He's just walking like that.
As you can see some people glancing in your way, almost like very Western style. Like the guy who walks in fingering his gun is like,
Yeah.
That's nasty.
what do you mean that? I don't get it. So yes, that is the general feel of the room. What do you wish to do inside the mercenary hangout?
He's just gonna like strut up like he owns the place up to the job board and start looking like he knows what he's reading and just kind of looking over the options.
Right, would you like to roll me perception?
A little bit better.
Ah, yes. Right, as you're looking for a job board, of course, you eventually find the one that Kuzon was on about. You scroll past, you bring that up for yourself, make it like bigger. And as you're scrolling through a few others, you see, like you're scrolling through the bounties that are related to the pirate bounties, you know, the people inside the ships. It's like, yeah, him. But as you're looking through the bounties, you do spot one thing as you pass a picture of Aiden.
Uh-oh.
I immediately check to see how much the bounty is.
What are the so I'm like scrolling through. Are we scrolling through it together, or is it just like
I'm assuming
You
we're,
could be
next to each other.
yeah. I'm not necessarily going to like immediately mention it. I'm just gonna no. So what's the details of it?
One moment, I gotta bring up my little.
Bruh, why you gotta do me like that? Bruh.
Right.
I mean, it probably isn't. This isn't the place to be talking about this stuff anyway. So I'm just getting information to talk about it when we're not surrounded by people who take bounties.
The thing is, as you're looking through the like record, you can see that are you looking at his bounty first? Are you going top to bottom, or are you looking at the reason first? This is the type of people you're gonna be, is it?
If I see that he's on the bounty board, like I would be scrolling through, like looking for it, and then as soon as I see it, I would focus on, like I'd click on it and try to get all the details, including like what it's for and everything like that.
All right. So essentially, the thing says "wanted alive," and his bounty is actually, as you see, you scroll past, essentially the bounty's been going up and down constantly for some apparent reason. Like over the first few days, it went up to 10 grand, then down to 2, then up to 8, and it just kept going up and down to 12. So right now it's at a 4 grand bounty for him.
Prava loudly says, "Wow, only 4 grand."
To be fair,
Like,
it was 20 at one point.
I'm gonna download the detail, literally like look up the prop, and she's like, shush.
I thought you'd be worth at least 8. Like, look at the guy.
What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Did you guys find a good job?
Nothing. We found nothing. And I'm just scrolling.
Ataika turns to him and says, "We were discussing your bounty."
You're discussing a what now?
Just Kuzon, just like.
You're doing a what now?
And he starts behind me, he's like, "Your bounty," and he like does a trigger finger and points and does a circle around your head.
I'm just gonna just Kuzon tries to ignore it and goes back to looking for the bounty he was trying to find.
Prava sends like a telepathic message to Aiden, like, "Oh, they want you alive. Maybe it's a lady that's enamored with you."
You're gonna have to be more specific on that front, Prava.
You've got a 4,000 credit bounty on your head, friend.
Oh, god damn it! I thought I got rid of that. Fuck.
There was, by the way, there's suddenly a ping, and now it's 6 grand.
God damn it! I swear I got the guy that was the handoman. Fuck. They must have found somebody new. God damn it! I'm gonna have to beat the shit out of somebody else again.
By the way, would you all roll perception for me? Ones who know about the bounty now.
$26, like a boss.
Anybody who got over basically 18 will have noticed that some of the people in the bar are looking towards Aiden, as Prava noticed before, but this look seems a bit more eyeing him up, some sort of deal.
This is the situation I was trying to avoid.
Aiden is gonna immediately turn around and get on a nearby table on top of it and scream, I can assure you, it's not worth it. Now, if we can all be civil, first round is on me! And he screams to the top of his lungs that the first round is on him.
The ones that are not looking towards you suddenly cheer, which is a good majority of the bar. He's like, yeah!
And then I'm gonna get off the table. Well, that's sorted out.
The bar is now just scrambling a little as people are going up and getting drinks on your tab.
Yeah, we'll worry about that at the end of the night, not right now.
All right, so I want to take up the details of the space pirate job that Kuzon was talking about. I noticed that one on the board. So.
By the way, Ash, can I roll Profession Mercenary to see if I spot something that might be an issue with the job? Maybe, you know, if the job is on the level, or if there might be some fuckery with it that they're trying to keep on.
You can roll that, yes. And as for the basic details of the job,
24.
basically it's... Oh, nice. So basically it's stopping it's stopping pirates from attacking local merchant convoys. It has been put up by the merchant guilds themselves in order to entice people to hunt down pirates.
Oh, that means it's a legit job.
Yes. And the general payout is based on the bounties that the pirates are worth, but also for like physically stopping the pirate ships themselves.
Do we get extra pay if we disable their ships quote-unquote permanently? And if they're disabled quote-unquote permanently, do we have permission to take what's left over?
They just mention on the bounty that they just want the pirates gone.
Perfect. We're taking that job. Nice find there, Prava. This one seems like it's gonna fit the bill just perfectly. Kuzon's probably gonna be happy with this one too.
It looks like.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you there.
Go ahead. I was just excited. This job is less thieving and more protecting.
I'm interested if there's any bounties on like any particular material or like anything that people are looking to buy, if that makes any sense.
Oh, like scrounging up stuff,
Yeah.
you mean? If you want to look up those, let's have a look.
Just like, I was just kind of curious if there's like any material that like I might be able to salvage that somebody's looking to buy at a good price. If that makes any sense.
Let's have a look. There's one looking for rare star metals. There's one also looking for what's essentially anomaly data. That's from a scientific client.
Okay. Yeah, I'll also record the details for both of these. Kuzon doesn't necessarily know if like they would be able to find the information about anomalies, but he knows star metal when he sees it. And any place that involves destroyed ships probably includes at least some form of star metal, so he'll take that on board.
Essentially, you can mine it from asteroids, get it from some space buildings. Generally, it's a general salvage job that somebody needs done.
We don't have the equipment. Well, I have old mining equipment, so maybe I could turn that into something on the way there.
You've got your laser drill as well.
Yeah. Well, it's super slow though. The laser drill's not like suitable for. It's not suitable for like mining a chunk of ore. It would take so long.
Your ship's not a mining ship, in other words.
Yeah, but I do have. I was specifically working on like a ship for outer space, and I have a bunch of old mining equipment, so maybe I might be able to improvise something like that.
So, Kuzon, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for popping a few pirates out there and taking their stuff, but when we designed our ship, didn't we focus more on survivability and speed? What are we gonna do for weapons?
It's if we our primary goal, we have to just pick our targets. We're not going to go for the big pirate ship. We're going to go for the small pirate ships.
So basically what you're saying is we need to pick our battles and be creative. You see that the gears are spinning in Aiden's head and for some reason it churns up your spine. I see how you work. We'll improvise, I getcha. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I think if we encounter something that exceeds our firepower, the best thing that we can do is get to the fleet and warn them about it.
Sounds good. Okay then, well, I guess we got our job, lads, which means there's only one thing left to do. Make it official, and I'm gonna grab a few drinks and start sliding them across our table. Cheers!
Thiveron will drink the drink.
Prava looks thankful but declines the drink.
Aiden taps his finger on the table when he sees Prava still feeling down. Sure, there's some agreeable fangirls or, you know, hype squads around. Are there, you know, some girl companies, stuff like that?
There are, of course, there's always the groupies that always hang out who like, you know, the rough and tumble mercenaries and all that sort of thing. Why?
I'm gonna grab Prava by the shoulder and I'm gonna start luring him towards one of the groups. Okay, Prava, this way, my dude. Give me a hand here.
Prava gets real nervous. He's like, no, that's quite all right.
Hey, girls, have you heard about my boy Prava here? He's the one that got in the news yesterday. That entire gangbanger business, all his business. He cleared out their hold and he cleared out his their clock. He even got rewarded by the private eye on the case. He's actually looking to have a good time and burn some cash.
You can see that they're genuinely interested since they did hear about the case being solved.
Yeah, my boy here,
They're like,
get
oh my God,
this.
really?
Yeah, get this. He threw himself like a grenade at the enemy, murdered a few of them in the blink of an eye. An absolute madman.
Prava, what's your reaction to this?
Prava's very panicked. He's trying to get Aiden to stop talking and kind of just like move himself like away from these random ladies.
He's a little on the shy side. Don't worry, as soon as he gets a few drinks in him, he's a party animal. Here, tell you what, why don't you girls get a few drinks on me and keep my boy some company here, and I'm gonna slip them 50 credits for a few rounds of drinks.
As that happens, what do you do? Do you walk away to a table, Aiden?
No, I'm gonna make sure that he gets quote-unquote eaten, and as soon as he's occupied, I'm gonna walk away.
As you're doing that, Prava, in the middle of all these girls that are surrounding you, ask you questions about the job, and they're like, you do see a shown female who physically like pushes away with others, puts her arm over your shoulder and pulls you away, and it's like, "Are you okay, dear? You seem a little nervous." And it's you. This is in your head, of course.
She's a Sheeran. She would probably notice that Prava's not actually a dude. Prava's a host. And he's not just gonna like flirt with like these random girls because he's only interested in like established couples.
Yeah,
So,
and it's like, don't worry. It's like your friend won't notice. Just come with me. And it's like, of course, she's gonna basically pretend she's dragging him away, like for this. But as soon as you guys are like outside or around the corner, essentially, she's like, "There you go."
Thanks. My friend means well, but he doesn't really know me that well.
It's fine. I can tell he meant well.
Yeah, of course. I probably would have calmed down and been able to talk to those girls, but I appreciate you looking out for me.
She nods since she clearly, like, as part of your own way, she clearly does understand the whole dynamic of a thing. So don't worry about it. I'm sure he thinks he did well, and you can lie to him however you like.
Prava laughs and he just kind of like relaxes and just starts like hanging out.
So I guess you two just hang out and chill out and drink and talk about like
Yeah, exactly.
how you've been
Prava
doing.
Sips like very delicate the drink and like talks a little bit about like the situation over the last few days, like all this crazy stuff, my friend, and just like how overwhelming it all is. And he has like a nice human connection with this Shirin lady.
Or Shirin connection with a Shirin lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
The conversation's probably like mostly telepathic, so it just looks like they're just like sitting there quietly enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, it's rather silent, but otherwise you're chatting away in your head.
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask how many drinks does people have? Are you trying to get drunk, or are you just having a nice time before moving on?
I mean, if everybody's down for getting hammered, Aiden's gonna oblige them.
Thiveron does not get hammered. He just drinks the one drink to as a courtesy.
Thankfully, your religion does not prevent you from drinking, but you know, telling stories while drunk wouldn't do much good.
Yeah.
At some point in the middle of the night, Aiden's probably gonna try to sell off Thiveron like he did with Prava. Like, look at this rare ass doggo. Can barely see him anywhere. He's like 3 of his kind are left in the world. Super rare. Have some fun with him.
I love how poor implications, because rare species are sold on black markets. And I'm pretty sure, given that he was from the Spike, Thiveron probably would know. So this is a bad implication.
Not really.
Here you go, ladies. A rare find. Jump on that stuff.
He doesn't say anything, but you get a telepathic message that just says, "No."
Just no. So by the end of that night, you will have your bounties, and I suppose you're heading back towards the ship.
By the way, at the end of the night, if there hasn't been a bar fight started, because this is a mercenary joint, that's how it works here. Aiden is gonna instigate one so he can run away without footing the bill for those drinks he promised. Like, he paid the girls and he paid for their drinks, but the first round's on me where he yelled to the rest of the bar. He's definitely ditching that bill. He's splitting without paying.
Because that's not going to complicate things when we go to get our reward.
Ataika might not notice that you pieced out, and he might start knocking teeth.
Just like as soon as I imagine, just like if you start like punching people, Kuzon just gonna be staying there below you. It's like, Taika, I think he's had enough. Douche. I think you can stop now. Douche. We have to get to our ship.
So
upon noticing that I was under attack, I appropriately removed my assailant's ability to chew food.
Yeah, it's the long game kill.
Come on, big guy. Get out of here. He's had enough.
So Ash, how much credit should I deduct for everything that we went for tonight?
Including hospital bills.
Nah, he pays for himself. He's a mercenary. He knew what he was up for when he entered that bar.
It's like, you knew what you were doing when you signed up for the job, and it's like being beaten near to death in a bar. It's like, this isn't the job.
It is now. I say what the job is. So Ash, how much credits is it gonna cost us?
Roll Constitution, because I want to see if you got caught up to pay for the bar tab or not.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean Fortitude?
Fortitude, yeah, sorry. No, Constitution.
Can I also aid him?
Also,
you want to aid him?
Because I'm the big dude. I'm
yeah.
just a fucking windmill of fists.
Also,
So in other words,
if it
you
helps,
two are in the fight.
I have toughness as well.
Oh, yeah.
What are you?
Okay, so you may aid as well, so you roll...
So
Dude,
are me and Ataika
because
just
it's-
fighting back to back in this fucking brawl in the middle?
Alright, so essentially, I'm suspecting that everybody generally filters out while Kuzon is trying to get Ataika to stop hitting somebody over and over again while he's covering for Aiden, who started the brawl and gets out.
Basically what happens is when me and Ataika are fighting, the team combo is I basically set them up right in Ataika's face and he just punches them and that's it.
Just one after you, like, douche, douche, douche.
At one point, Ataika grabs Aiden by the ankles and swings him at some.
Ah! Not me, Ataika, I'm not a weapon!
What was that, Joe?
Thiveron is just sitting there silently sipping on his drink while all this is happening, but he's using this telepathic projectile to throw people's glasses at them to knock them out.
So hang on, he's just like he's cross-legged, just, and then suddenly as they're fighting, and someone's about to come over behind the tiger with like a bat or something, or there is this glass that comes out of nowhere and beans him in the head. Just poof.
Yep.
As I said, it's just chaos in the bar suddenly. Of course, Prava, given that you're in a totally different room, it's like, I wonder what's happening down there. I wonder if your friends are about to leave.
Prava completely forgot about his friends. He's in the middle of telling this animated story about this time that he and Cole lost something of Diaz and had to go into the town garbage dump to get it, just as they were about to jettison the trash into space.
She just continues listening. It's like, I'm sure everything's fine downstairs, as somebody who gets thrown out the door. Like, what happened?
And as the door gets flung open from a guy flying through it, all he hears from below is, Prava, move it or lose it, we're out!
Before he hears Prava, move it or lose it, and then they feel like a really heavy thump against their feet, like someone just hit the ceiling. Someone's body was just rocketing straight up towards the ceiling.
Move it or lose it, we out!
Well, looks like my crew is on the way. Thanks again.
No problem. Feel free to come back and talk again.
Prava's gonna like assess the situation on the way out before he decides if he's coming back here or not.
The thing is, the barman and the bouncer don't seem to be getting involved. They do, like, the bouncer does get involved at one point where somebody's about to draw a gun and the bouncer's like shaking his head towards him and he's like, apparently this happens often. It's like no weapons, essentially, no like deadly weapons are allowed if you're gonna brawl.
Except for the massive murder robot, he's allowed. He's legal.
But oh sorry.
Oh no, carry on.
I was going to say that I imagine Thiveron is sitting at a table, and I'd like describe the auditory sensation as this. You just hear a poof, 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 and it's just like the thud stops being so hard, and it like wettens as you keep hearing the thump, and it's just like the thump becomes more and more wet, and then you just hear Kuzon like, stop it.
She's already dead.
Ataika, that's enough.
And Thiveron's like, man, I'm glad I can't fucking see this. And then
I've heard some shit.
Yeah, I heard some shit before, but God. But as you're all filtering out of the room, Aiden, you're stopped by the bouncer who goes 10 credits. And he like points towards the broken chair, the glass, like a couple glasses that you broke in your fight.
I'm gonna slip him 20 and say, consider it a down payment for next time.
Apparently what he paid before was the fact that he broke somebody's glass. And he's like, he puts it in his coat pocket and nods before you all filter out of the room quickly.
Yeah, Ataika starts to walk out and like looks back, and there's like a perfect someone's entire set of teeth left in the counter of the bar.
See, I told you I know the best places in town.
It was a
Thank
good
God
exercise in
you choose
combat
that.
prowess.
Yeah, there were some really nice ladies there.
Prava's like, I had a good talk. It's like therapy. It's nice.
See, we this is the life. Next time we get back on station, we gotta go visit another joint. You know, until this one kind of forgets about what happened.
And as you guys are heading back towards the ship, I think a 10-minute break is in order, since it's been 2 hours into the session. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah.